The B-17 Flying Fortress remains one of the most iconic heavy bombers ever built, and imagining it through a 2026 lens is less about modernization and more about appreciating its enduring legacy. Designed in the 1930s and proven in World War II, the B-17 symbolizes industrial strength, resilience, and strategic air power in a way few aircraft ever have. Its design still feels imposing even by modern standards. The broad wings, tall vertical stabilizer, and rugged fuselage give the aircraft a purposeful look that reflects its original mission: long-range bombing deep into enemy territory. The Flying Fortress earned its nickname honestly, with defensive gun positions covering nearly every angle, something that remains visually striking today. In terms of structure, the B-17 was ahead of its time. Built to absorb heavy damage and still return home, its airframe became legendary for survivability. Even in 2026, aviation engineers and historians admire how the aircraft could fly with missing control surfaces, damaged engines, and severe structural hits that would ground most planes. The four-engine configuration gave the B-17 both range and redundancy. Losing one or even two engines did not necessarily mean losing the aircraft, a critical advantage over hostile territory. That reliability established trust among crews and helped shape future bomber design philosophies still used today. The cockpit and crew stations feel primitive compared to modern aircraft, yet they reflect extraordinary human adaptability. Pilots relied on skill, coordination, and raw endurance rather than automation. Looking back from 2026, the B-17 stands as a reminder of aviation before digital systems, when teamwork mattered as much as technology. As a combat machine, the B-17 was not fast or agile, but it was consistent. Its high-altitude bombing capability made it effective against strategic targets, forcing changes in enemy air defenses. The aircraft helped redefine how wars could be fought from the sky, influencing doctrines that remain relevant even now. From an operational perspective, the Flying Fortress was costly but effective. It demanded massive logistical support, maintenance crews, and training programs. However, the results justified the investment, as it played a decisive role in weakening enemy manufacturing and infrastructure during the war. In modern aviation museums and airshows, the B-17 continues to command attention. Restored examples flying in 2026 still evoke strong emotional reactions, with the sound of radial engines instantly transporting audiences back to a defining era of aviation history. The cultural impact of the B-17 cannot be overlooked. It became more than just a bomber. It became a symbol of perseverance and sacrifice. Books, films, and documentaries continue to revisit its story, keeping its legacy alive for new generations. Comparing the B-17 to modern bombers highlights just how far technology has progressed. Stealth, precision-guided munitions, and advanced avionics dominate today's designs, yet none carry the same rugged, visible character as the Flying Fortress. Its presence was unmistakable, both visually and psychologically. Ultimately, reviewing the B-17 Flying Fortress in 2026 is an exercise in respect rather than critique. It was a product of its time, built for a specific purpose, and it fulfilled that role with distinction. Even decades later, it stands tall as one of the greatest military aircraft ever to take to the skies.